Thank you for having me this weekend. I'll just tell you a little story about myself, pretty much, how I started. Coming from a communist country, I was born in Cuba, and I came when I was 3.5 years old, and then to kind of help my father and my mom would sew for the community and sew for everybody else, because coming from Cuba, you have become penniless. You have to come with nothing. So that's how she kind of helped out, And being the youngest in the house, I would be always with her, and I would kind of learn the trade. So I kind of learned pretty much what I do from my mother. Then later down in time, when I went to school, of course, I always loved doing the fashion. When I went to school, I entered a competition that was sponsored by a chain store bridal salon, way in the days. And I was the winner of that competition. It was nationwide, of what young designer can create a bridal collection. So I won that collection and kind of opened the door into the bridal industry. While I was in school, I always wanted to become a costume designer. So I kind of fell into the right place, because it's probably one of the most elaborate costumes you'll ever wear. So it kind of fell into the right area. Later down the road, I went to go work for a company. I actually started, while in school, I worked for a bridal salon doing alterations. And during a trunk show, a designer came up to me and said, I want you to come to New York and work with me. And, and I did. I pretty much picked up everything, right out of college, picked up everything. I said, I'm leaving. So I did. I went to New York and started working as an assistant for quite a while, until later down the road, Joe Murphy, which is the CEO of JLM, came up to me and said, I want to, pretty much put your name up in lights and create a collection, which is where the Lazaro brand started. And that is now going to 25 years. And I've been doing bridal for, I've been doing bridal for a little over 30 years now. So, and that's pretty much how I got into the industry. Again, I love doing bridal. It's wonderful. The collection. I worked for a designer before named Richard Glasgow, and Richard Glasgow was a very high-end couturier designer. You could actually take his clothes and put them inside out. So that's pretty much how I learned the trade of well fit. And pattern making. I do my own pattern making. The very first dresses, the size 4s that you see that come from the runway, all of those are actually done. All the patterns and cuts and everything pretty much are done by me. So yeah, I do everything from patterning to cutting to even sewing as well. So kind of very, a little bit of everything. So which is really great. And that's pretty much it. You guys have any questions or anything? This dress here, the 3662, I'll tell you a little bit about this. I designed it a couple seasons back. It kind of started this whole sparkle sensation kind of thing. When I first got the fabric, I really was like, oh my God, this is glitter. Let's try, I said to myself, let's try a finale piece. So I did, and it was so well received, and it did so amazing that later down the road, you have all of these other sparkle pieces that came along, because that's what people wanted. This just kind of kept the lights on in the atelier. So it just sold and it did really well. We did the ivory version, which is similar to this, was this combination, and then later down we came up with the champagne version. During a trunk show, there's a couple of incentives that we do. A couple of them is, I'm getting a lot of play on this is the 3810, and we're getting a lot of play on this sparkle, of this fabrication. So people are asking to do this dress in that fabric, we can do those changes, or vice versa. This fabric is a little bit more expensive, so if they want to do this fabric in that, then you go with a higher price dress, okay? And if it's back, you just let me know, we'll work it that way, okay? A lot of skirts can be changed. One of the biggest changes in this is could it be done with an A-line skirt, and we did a circle A-line skirt here without the box pleats. So you could swap out the skirts as well. Changes like that. We, of course, keep in mind we open cup sizes, we elongate waists, hollow to hems, which you're very familiar with. And a lot of things now, a lot of the the new things that people want is sleeves. So we can add sleeves to pretty much anything. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Have you done this with sleeves?
I have done this with sleeves. It's beautiful. It's very, very lovely. We line it with a poly net inside, with a soft net, so it doesn't itch or scratch or anything. And which is pretty much what's underneath the bodice here. So we just line the sleeves with that. But yeah, I have done it. I have done it for religious ladies, where it's just completely jewel neck, all almost like a t-shirt effect with the long sleeve, and it looks spectacular. Believe it or not, really beautiful. So a lot of different things. Okay. I'm very well known for my embroidery, as you can see. A lot of it is it's copyrighted, so nobody can really knock them off, which is great. Beauty of the embroidery. This is actually one does very well. Okay, all of this is actually done by hand. If you pick up the embroidery inside out, you can actually see all the little knots and all the little chain stitches. It's no machine work whatsoever in that, which is really incredible. And it's incredible to see it made, so it's really beautiful. It actually is done on a little upside down, and they're just sitting there. They have an artwork, and they just follow the artwork, and they just do it while they drink tea. It's wonderful. And it's astonishing to me where they're not, sometimes they're not even looking at it, and it's perfection. It's really beautiful. The hands that go into there. So yeah. And of course, this does come in ivory. This is the champagne, like I said. We do the blush as well. Okay, the blush does come in ivory as well, like we have it here. And that's pretty much it.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
Inspiration pretty much from a lot of different places. I'm very fortunate that instead of me going to look for fabrics, they come to me and they bring them. I have vendors that come that I like to use. Like the person that does my embroidery is just one person, and he's been doing this with me since day one. And he pretty much knows my aesthetic. I could tell him, his name is Raj. I tell him, Raj, I'm thinking flowers this season. So he brings me like a bag full of swatches with flowers and things already made up, and then we start creating a gown that way. Books, theater, movies. A lot of what's influential is the red carpet. Things that's happening on the red carpet. I think every designer is very key on what's happening on the red carpet, what people are wearing. So we try to, bridal is a little difficult in that sense, but we try to bring some of the elements in. Like there was this, or still is a little bit of this very see-through, has been on the red carpet. It's very see-through, no lining, no nothing, and it's, we tried it in bridal and it's picked up and it's like, my goodness. But I think we're now getting a trend of going back to a little bit more traditional, and people are starting to cover themselves a little bit more, which is great. That's the old Lazaro, which I think it's beautiful to be a little bit, a little bit more conservative. But listen, it's still going strong, and I'll probably try it for another season. And the good thing about my designing and how I get inspired is pretty much you guys, my customer. What I see, I'm not that kind of designer that has the blindfolds on and say absolutely not. I'm not going to try this because it's not my aesthetic. I like to try different things. I like to hear what the consultants think I should try, because you guys are the ones pretty much that design my collection. You guys are the ones that, if it sells, then next season you get to see it again, or a variation of it. So to answer that question, pretty much the biggest inspiration is my brides and the stores, what I get to hear from you guys. I like to pull you aside and see what do you want to see, what can help your store, what can make it better, what can you sell better. Here we have your beautiful column dress. Yes. And the biggest change on this, I think, has been that we V'd out the neckline, we V'd out the front and the back. We haven't had too many changes with this because it's usually the girl who loves this look just loves it the way it is and doesn't do a lot of changes. And very easy to put a sleeve on this. We just bring the shoulder out a little bit and then just do the same exact embroidery, which has a little bit of a look like this. They're very similar. So you kind of get to see it that way. And, as I said, I'm very well known for my embroidery, and it's a lot of fun. It's what I'm known for, pretty much.
Do you offer different lining colors for these?
Yes, this I believe is the cashmere lining. We could do it all ivory as well. The embroidery stays the same. The lining kind of will lighten it up just slightly. Okay. And that would be the ivory version.
And can you talk about sizing a little bit with us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sizing. A lot of people say, well, we'll start from the beginning. A lot of people say, oh my God, your sizes are so small. This is the old couturier way of, of sizing. I still use that old size chart where that's actually, a size 2 is really a size 2. That size 8 that you see there is what size 8 really is. When you take the measurements, of course, bust, waist, and hips, we do go off the size chart. Then when you go off the size chart, I like to do a muslin, and then we would do for you. But not too many people have that. It's usually something very rare.
Any like split sizing? There we go.
We do offer split sizing. Sometimes you have the problem where the girl could be busty in the waist, or sometimes she's just square, or she has a larger hip, or we can accommodate that for sure. You can definitely do split sizing in the Lazaro. There's a little bit more customization that you can do, and we're actually an umbrella that hosts the Haley page, as well as now is Allison Webb that's into the company. I don't know if you still have a couple Alvina Valentas. I probably don't have them. I also do the Tarakili line. I don't know if you have that collection here. The Tarakili line is a lower end, a little bit more affordable, Lazaro, you can say. But all of these under the umbrella, I think the Lazaro has a little bit more flexibility in customizing a little bit more, because I've been doing it the longest within the company, so they're allowing me to let the customization keep going, where maybe in another they're very strict and like, no, you can't swap skirts, no, you can't elongate this or elongate that or swap this out or whatever. But we can do split sizing for sure. We can accommodate a little bit more. Okay.
Do you try to keep the customizations to like one?
Good morning,
I try to keep
here
it
in
to
our rally this morning, 9 o'clock in front of
sometimes you
women's
have a girl that
shoes.
wants to completely design a gown, then that's really not her dress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I try to get, during trunk show, sometimes she has 3 things that she needs, like a hollowed hem, open the cup, or maybe a split sizing too. We can throw in some things, talk to me and seeing what's her budget. Sometimes we can work with it. Usually if she has 2 things, I could throw one thing as an incentive and the other one she would pay for. But I'll give you prices on that as well. Okay. Lovely. Sometimes when I talk, that's why I like you to push me aside, because sometimes I'll give you I don't know if you double up on the customizations, you probably double up here. I'll probably give you our price, and then you do according to whatever, if you're allowed to double or whatever on customizations, I'm not sure. But I usually give you our wholesale price when I say customization, and then you kind of do the math. Okay? This is lovely. Again, doing the sparkle underneath. The sparkle of the dress that she had before. It's the ivory. It's underneath this. So the chantilly lace, and then it has the embroidery with a little bit of blue. Some people want to get rid of some of that, and we can do it all in one color. That's no problem. So keep that in mind. And this is a phenomenal dress. It's done very well. Of course, we can do sleeves on that. We usually do just, you could do lace sleeves, or you could do just net sleeves, and then we could do a little bit of the beading just around the wrist, which is really pretty. Okay. And then doing that, we would continue the net from her shoulder, go down. So it's a little bit more translucent, and then we just add a little bit of the embroidery at the wrist.
I think it's that, the layering.
The layering of it is really lovely. Actually, I'm doing a lot of this in the next collection. You're going to be seeing a lot of that coming up in the next collection, which is great. Doing a lot of layering of different laces and you know, doing some sparkle underneath a lace and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot of that happening in the next collection, which is really great.
So we're getting a lot of last minute rides.
Yikes. Okay.
I know you have a few express styles. Is there
Yes.
anything that you can do in fast?
There
I'm
are
just
certain
curious.
dresses. I'll tell you, you could probably get faster or rushes on things that are more like fabrics. Keep
Okay.
that in mind.
Okay.
When you're showing a girl that she has a rush, try to stay away from anything that's embroidery. The embroideries or anything that's really embellished or really beaded, that's what really pushes things back. That does, like I said, it's all done by hand, so it takes more time. Where this is rolls of fabric that we have, if there's you know, a real rush, you know, we'll try to make it for you. We'll try to accommodate you. Okay, so always keep that in mind when you're kind of showing a girl that says, I have 3 months. And you're like, okay, let's show her, you know, things that are more like fabrications. Laces are also something that's a little easier to rush as well because we have those in stock, okay? But it's mainly the customizations of the embroidery. Always stay away from the embroideries when you have that. Some things we could rush you, you know, but some others you really can't. You have a few, I'm sure.
These, I've had people love it, except they felt like it was too conservative up
Too
here.
high, the
Yes,
neckline.
and then the neckline, you know, is high, but then it's also more obscuring there too. How have you modified that?
We have lowered the neckline on that. Now, keep in mind, something with a sleeve. When you V out, and this has happened a couple times, the sleeves, when you have something with a sleeve, if it didn't have sleeves, it'd be fine. We can lower it to as low as you like. But when you have sleeves, it has a tendency to slip off because the sleeves are kind of pushing it out. So keep in mind, when you do something like that, if you, let's say, for instance, you want to be out the front, and with that low V, you may want to have something across the back holding the shoulders and back. You might need to let her know there's going to be a little spaghetti strap, or we can do a little beaded number back there, you know, but there has to be something to hold her shoulders because she will have that. And I really don't like to tell brides, oh, why don't you just put double-sided tape? You don't want to do that during your wedding and have that. That's very uncomfortable. So that's why things like this with sleeves is either the back is up or, you know. Lovely. This is the platinum fabric that we use. It's really beautiful. This season we're actually going to start showing it in the ivory because a lot of people are like, we love it, but it's a little dark. So this season we're gonna show it in the ivory, so later you'll be able to offer this in the ivory as well. Again, that's pretty much the same neckline here, but we can lower it. You know, if you need to just lower it a little bit, it's just that structure.
Yeah.
Once you lose that structure there, the sleeves are just gonna open up.
Well, since it's netting rather than more of that lattice.
It doesn't show as much, but
Yeah.
I get the you know, that is very, very covered. But again, that's why this one, we actually raised the back too, because we figured maybe somebody may want to lower the front, so we raised this back a little bit. And then this, with something like this, of course, the sleeves will stay on. If you wanted to lower the front on this neckline.
Where is everything made?
Everything is made in New York, okay? The pieces, parts do come from everywhere else. You know, we do a lot of Italian fabrics, we do a lot of, things do come from China, some things from Japan. But mainly the structured fabrics and all that do come from Italy, okay? And all the embroidery does come from Bombay, India. That's where they're embroidered. They're embroidered in pieces, parts, and they come almost like a puzzle, and we put it all together. Everything is made in New York. It's assembled there. And all the cutting and everything is done there.
Do you have a favorite gown currently?
You're so bad. It's like picking my favorite
I
child.
know.
Usually the finale piece, it's the one that kind of, you know, put my heart into, and that's the one that kind of I love the most. Sorry. But yeah, they're all special. So.
What's a dress that you designed that you just thought I did that right. Like even if it's not a popular dress, like you just feel like it's just done.
Well, I'll tell you,
perfect.
there is a dress that I don't know if you have it. Oh, thank you, Lord, here it is. The 3108. You know, it kind of had all the elements that, and this dress is I want to say 7 years old already, and it just keeps going and going and going and going, and it looks beautiful on a larger girl, and it looks great on a very petite girl, and it was one of those dresses I'm like, wow, okay, it was perfect, you know. And we did it in the ivory, but the sherbet is the one that sells the most, and it was just like perfect.
Yeah.
It was like all the elements were right, you know.
Yeah.
Everything was just like it worked perfectly, and if you really look at it, it's not that much of a design. It was just for some reason it all worked out, and everybody, you know, just went to it, which is great,
Yeah.
you know. All different sizes, all different ethnicities, and it was just did wonderful for me. It was one of those pieces. I don't even know how many we've sold to date. I couldn't tell you.
Well, it's like if you have a 6th grade girl, that's like the shape of a dress that they draw.
Exactly.
Like,
Is that little strapless ball gown, that Cinderella, you know, and I've had girls, I don't know what it is with that dress. I've had girls that absolutely not, I wouldn't touch a tulle dress. I'm like, let's just put it on. And then, I don't know what it is. It's ridiculous. It's just a magical dress for me. I've had a couple of beaded sheets too that have done very well for me. There's actually one over there, the 58. Yeah, that's yes, that does very well. That's also been around for quite a while, you know. And again, one of those pieces, you know, if you have a girl that's coming in for this look, you put this on, and it's pretty much a sure sale. You know.
There was a bride that bought this and came in. She was like, I really don't want beaded. I really want super simple. And her sister pulled it. She's like, just try it on.
Just try it on.
And she put it on and she was like, I think I'm done.
Yeah. Completely be what she didn't want.
Exactly.
So sometimes you have to kind of not listen too much of what they say. You know, you try on some things and then you see where they're going with it, and then you're like, you know, let's try this on for me. You know, or from here, you just say, oh, the designer wants to see this on you. Whatever, you know, you'd be surprised. Some of these dresses are like a dead hit. They'll put it on and something happens and they love it. You know, it's the good thing with the collection is it has a lot of different things happening for it. So you know, we do everything from the simple to the extravagant to the sparkly to the the tame. Lovely. Well, this is actually one of my favorite pieces too. It's all Chantilly lace, with the Venice lace on top. I just love this dress. And then of course, this does come in all ivory as well. Okay, this is with the nude underneath.
What do you typically charge to lining bodices?
Typically, I mean, this one is we can do like that little sweetheart lining inside.
Okay.
During trunk shows, I usually throw those in.
Oh.
Okay, I'll throw those in during the trunk shows. Usually, I believe it's like, I don't know, is this 150 or
I think so. So it'd be like
75 to 150?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing.
And
And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that was really effortless, and but at the same time, it's all about the laces. This has two different Chantilly laces in there. It has the one that's banded. As you can see, it has the banded Chantilly, and then it has the one that's a little bit more of a, traditional or Victorian, you can almost say.
Good morning, Flagship.
Just
Just
works beautiful.
another reminder that we are going to be having a rally this morning, 9 o'clock on the first floor.
This is Italian.
Like everyone there, 9 o'clock, just about 5 minutes waiting for the rally. Thank you.
And of course, one of the things, you show them a long sleeve, and then they're like, you do without a sleeve. damn if you do and damn if you don't, you know what I mean? So that's probably the biggest change on this. I haven't really had a lot of changes or a lot of like, you do it this way or that way. This is pretty much, you know, you put it on and this is the girl that says love it or hate it completely. She doesn't usually want to, you know, if anything, maybe she may want to raise the neckline a little bit slightly, you know, which is very, very popular. Most of these gowns are very, very low. Doing sketches, it's like a little, almost like a fashion. It's not really a sketch of her, not that good. It's really like, it's like a fashion sketch, and some girls cry when I give it to them. It's really great. It's like it's a nice little touch to kind of end the whole experience, which is really beautiful. And you know, I have a glitter pen. I'll do like glitter if it's got glitter, and you know, it's really it's fun. It's fun. I usually do the same color here. Red hat. They love it. They think it's really great. It's just like a nice little touch for the experience.
Very pieces, like this bodice.
Like this bodice
Yeah,
here.
like just, you know, your production of it.
Well, this is one of the pieces that are done in India. Okay? One of the embroideries that are done in India. The good thing about this is, you know, some girls may want to raise it, or I've had girls who cover this completely entirely with, these are all Swarovski crystals, okay? There's actually a dress, you probably don't have it, but there's certain occasions where I've actually used real sea pearls. So they can actually take some of the pearls off and turn them into a jewelry piece. So that dress is not huge. But it's usually like an encrusted little pearl bodice with a big tulle skirt with a horsehair. It's a strapless bodice. And but these are all Swarovski crystals. So you know what happens is the rhodium sometimes, you know, with the touching gets a little dark, and that's how sometimes it gets a little bit like aged or antique.
Right.
But the crystals usually stay the same. It's
Yeah.
Austrian. We try to source out, you know, the best of the crystals and things like that.
Right.
Swarovski is a big company that we use. But again, this is another thing that you can also customize, which is really great. You know, you could add a little short sleeve. We can, you know, like I said, I've done this where it's completely covered to the top. Okay. You know, we've had girls that want to lower the mesh in the front, but then they want to raise the back, or an undergarment, you know, so they can wear a bra or whatever. And then we can raise it up to bra level.
With your designs, what's your typical cup size on like samples?
When we do, it's a B cup.
Okay.
Everything is
Just
normally a B
everything.
cup, yes. So everything is a B cup, and of course we've opened up to G's and F's and whatever, so yeah, you can accommodate for that. When I open up a cup, I do give you plenty of room. So let's say she's a D, or you know, not as a big D. I would just open it up to a C. I think she'll be fine with, you know, doing a C. Oh, I always go one cup down because it just looks better. Or if you think that she's in between, then go to her true. I'll let you know when you're doing a cup size, it increases the neckline by a half an inch. It opens up. We open it up a total of 1.5 inches per cup. Okay, so there's quite a bit of room in there. So let's say for some reason she is a 36 and the dress is measuring a 34. If she just goes up one cup, she's gonna have more than enough room. Usually, like a cup, you usually give it another 1.5 inches. This is those dresses that you put on. Something about it. It's just the bodice is great for larger girls, for girls who have smaller butts, or girls who have larger butts. I mean, it just works for all different shapes and sizes. You see how beautiful it looks on her.
Like a smaller version of the belt, because it's so massive.
It's very large. It's very, very large. And we have done smaller. Like I've had girls that say, could you just go like half size? And we've done that. We're accommodating. Again, when you do things like that, give me enough room, enough time. Customize, always add that extra time in between. that's the same thing as if you're even adding a sleeve or lowering necklines or things like that. Trying to give me a little bit more time. Because that's something that we take off the line. Because normally, let's say what we do is we do everything by cutting tickets. That's another good thing you guys should be aware of. We do things by cutting tickets. So in other words, we wait until there's like 10 of these, okay? Before we don't just want to cut one dress. We want to wait until there's 10 of them, and then we cut all the tools all at one time and do it that way. That's why sometimes it takes a little longer to come in, unless it's a rush. When there's a rush or something like that, those are cut individually one by one. Or if it's a customization or anything, those are taken off of a certain cutting ticket, and then but if you have a whole bunch of size 8s, a whole bunch of size 10 in the same color and all of that, they all cut those all at once. Usually that dialogue is always perfect.
Thank you so much for being
No,
here.
thank you. Thank you so
Appreciate
much
you
for
making the
having me
plane.
here.